right, what's up? Welcome to the Gossip Intellectual Podcast with me, Royce Wynn. Where we talk about sports, politics, entertainment. How are you? It's Saturday. Because I have a new job, guys. We are out of the draining funk of looking for employment. Okay, we have employment. Another type of employment, I hoped and dreamed for, but it's something and it takes a weight off your shoulders. Okay. I've never been I at one point, but for the most part, I've always said, hey, work while you're pursuing your dream job or your career. You need income, which is better to do it younger, because then the lifestyle is less. You know, when you're young, you're looking at Casanat, they're sleeping with bed bugs, in the same room. So the older you get, the more convenience you want, the less tolerance you have for mess. So yeah, figured that out. That was, quite frankly, it was a little bit of a miracle. The situation I was in, what I was facing, was a little rough. I did an untraditional job for so long, and it was always in the back of my mind, like, what am I gonna do when this is over? How am I gonna figure it out? And I had some things in mind. Of the one thing I was gonna go to didn't quite work out, and so this situation worked out. It's actually a good situation. I'm with nice people. It was what I wanted. But yeah, it takes away my ability to do the podcast on Friday. So I think I'm gonna start doing it on Saturdays right now, unless I start waking up earlier. I'm not an early riser, so I don't know. We're adjusting. But yeah, it's a whole new life, a whole new lifestyle just kind of happened. I envy those who are just born into like privilege, where you can just take time to figure out life and try different things, and you always have that nest to come back to. But most of us out here, we're just like, I gotta figure it out. While I'm also trying to figure out how to pay these bills. So I'm at a time in my life where I'm just like, I just want to take everything in and, focus on experiences and enjoy stuff. And I was just thinking last night, I was like, man, you just never know what's going to happen in NYC. Every day is an adventure. New York has been everything I thought it was going to be. I can say that for sure. Just unpredictable. Life has just been unpredictable. I never would have thought things have gone the way they've gone, good and bad. So that's where I'm at. So still making progress, and we'll figure out how to work around this new situation and still pursue comedy. Have been feeling a little bit discouraged. I'm trying to figure out, because I'm just like, we talk about it all the time with like, I think timing a lot of times has something to do with it. I'm just looking at the careers of a lot of my peers, and I was just like too late to everything. I just didn't have the vision in that way, where it was just like a lot of stars around my age, they either they got on YouTube early, got seen, got on Vine, got seen. I always think about how we were just laughing at Vine, going to open mics, eating dollar pizza, dollar hot dogs, and now all those people on Vine have houses, and we're still eating pizza and hot dogs. um, and yeah, I kind of got into TikTok early, but not early enough. TikTok is still good though. Like if you have like I don't know, something that connects, it's still people blowing up every year on TikTok, and there's still comics blowing up. My stuff doesn't quite connect like that. I think it's too mature. TikTok definitely, I think it likes to push the Gen Z. Like it likes to push the streamers, and the younger comics. But you never know. Some people hit. There's the I've Had It podcast. They blew up on TikTok. So I don't know. You have to just take, your talents and skills and put it out there and, see what happens. I work hard every day and I try to put stuff out there and, I put the work in as far as writing and studying comedy for years. And it's a great opportunity to have an app that pushes my, face out there, and you get some acknowledgement. I do get some double takes. People recognize me when I'm out and about New York a little bit. But haven't figured out how to monetize it and do well. But it does feel good to be acknowledged and having some success. I was just thinking about. I was like, I've had a lot of success in life, just not in terms of financial. So I try not to get too down on myself. It's like, you did some things. You played some sports. You finished college. You moved to New York. You lived in the big city for a while. Mastered the art of comedy a little bit, and you're able to connect with people. Just not enough for a house and a girlfriend. So that's the frustrating part of it. Now I am scared that if this TikTok deal goes through, my career might be over. Cause I'm too in the hole to get that nice camera and production to connect on YouTube. The great thing, TikTok is great for comics because it pushes just people talking about current events and jokes. And, as a stand-up and a writer, you kind of always have to have your bag for the current events and hot topics. And then you have your stuff just about your life and more your personal life that you usually take to the stage. Some people throw it out there online too. So it's good, but you always got to talk about what's going on. The funniest thing is always on the spot. Nothing's ever going to beat funny thing on the spot. Crowd work has blown up over the last 5 years. Being in a moment and having those funny situations, nothing can beat that. So it is an advantage for comics there. It blows my mind that comics just don't want to do it. And I'm just like, if you ever hung out with comics, like all we do is talk about all our little over-analyzing thoughts all day long. But it is like an art too. Like you have to know how to deliver it on the camera and get to the point and kind of get your punchlines out early. But I'm like, y'all do that on stage all the time. But I don't know. Some people don't know how to translate it. And it is discouraging not seeing your numbers go up. But I'm like, y'all literally, when you start stand-up, it's brutal. Like, you're just going up there and bombing, especially in the big cities. When you're starting out, you're just performing for other comics, and you're just bombing. They know all your little tricks and what you're trying to do. So, I don't know. I thought it was easier to go online and just do my thing. So I'm a little emotional I was watching this girl I liked do a podcast, and it triggered me. Mariah Carey has this song. Play this song, and that song is exactly kind of what I'm going through with that right now. So yeah, I'm halfway. You know what? I don't want to talk about that situation. I thought I was ready to talk about it. I'm not. I'm not. But yeah, play this song if you listen to the Mariah Carey album. Kind of going through a little bit of that. Um, yeah, in my head, I have conversations about my love life and TikTok all the time, and then I'm like, I'm gonna talk about it on the podcast. I'm gonna say how I feel, and then I'm like, no, no, no. I'm not ready. So I don't know. Yeah, it's complicated right now. I got so much stuff going on. Everything is just up in the air right now. So I'm trying to figure it out, and I'm growing and learning every day. For I'm feeling less and less guilty about it every day. Like I've accepted the fact that these girls will be fine out here. They have plenty of options. There's plenty of good guys out here. So I'm just like, you know what? If I don't have my stuff together, you'll find somebody else. You'll be fine. And I do feel like I'm a good blueprint. It's like, look at me and then find a version of me with maybe a little bit more of their stuff together. And you'll be fine. That's it. It does blow my mind the attention that I do get still. Just walking around my neighborhood, being in the world. They still like me. That's good. That's good. My audience is still mostly girls. I'm trying to get the guys up. Hopefully they come over. But if not, that's fine. All right. What are we gonna start with? So much going on. Oh, so this TikTok deal, man. We'll talk about that. We'll start with that. Okay, so this is the thing. Trump is trying to give TikTok to Oracle, and they're saying they're gonna make a U.S. version of the app, and it's just gonna be all these billionaires that Trump knows on the board, and one of the guys is like a big guy in Israel. So TikTok is about to be the billionaire tech app in this billionaire tech government that we have going on right now. So it just makes your suspicions grow bigger. It's like it was always about us sharing information. It was always about us being more aware and knowledgeable. But from what I've seen, like, these are people that talk and study and converse with each other. So it's not going to stop. On all the apps, it's just sections of thinkers and people sharing ideas and information. So, it's too many people. You can't control that many people. Now, in terms of voting in elections, maybe the influence will get around. But even with Charlie Kirk, which we'll talk about in a second, like going to campuses, there was people challenging him, and people got to eat, so there'll always be somebody starting a podcast challenging the wrong ideas. There's money in that as much as there's way more money in putting out the wrong ideas and propaganda and information. So anyway, people are scared. People are worried about their careers. People who really like the app and enjoy the app are afraid it's gonna completely change. Now, me putting my comedic brain on it, once I thought about it, I was like, hold on. China hasn't said nothing. TikTok hasn't said nothing. So he said the deal is done, but why hasn't China said anything? All they said was we're open to discussions pretty much about it, and he had to extend it. Now people are saying this is going to take longer than we think because it's so expensive. They're saying it's worth like $300 billion, and they're trying to buy it for $14 billion. So people are like, China knows they have the leverage. All right, Xi is nothing to play with. Okay, Xi has been doing this for a while. Trump is not good at making deals at all. Like he's like, Trump is like a billionaire pawn shop man. Like he'll make like the easiest deal. As a matter of fact, pawn shop deals are probably better than Trump. Like if he can get like a little something for his friends, that's all he cares about. Him and his friends make a little bit of money. They sell out the rest of the world. That's fine. All right. Xi is thinking like 10 years ahead. He's thinking about technology. He's thinking about all types of stuff. And the problem with this administration is they're just bringing in dumb, hot people, propagandists to run our government. And before we had like smart people like keeping stuff like this from happening, keeping people for like Xi out of gaining more power. But all those people keep getting fired if they're not going with Trump. Right? The reason I'm not going with Trump because Trump has dumb ideas. You ever have like a friend group and you have that one person that just wants to lead out of ego and you're just like, no, that's dumb. And then he gets mad at you. He wants to fight you. That's Trump. Right? All right. So the thing they're saying that Xi wants, this made sense to me. I don't know if it's true. All I know is he's not going to give up something that America really wants for nothing. So they're saying he wants Taiwan. And they're saying Trump lifted the defense on Taiwan. They're saying Taiwan was Trump's biggest defense. Taiwan's biggest defense from China was the U.S. So that's what they're saying what Xi wants. I think that's true. Now, what else is he getting out of it? Who knows? Now, the other scary thing was, remember when TikTok went out and then it came back and it thanked Trump. And it was like, we thanking Trump now for TikTok? Remember Trump used to hate TikTok. Remember the TikTokers bought all the tickets for one of his rallies and then he got mad and he wanted to ban TikTok. So that was weird. So after that, everybody's been saying it's weird. People are saying the algorithm is weird. Personally, my algorithm has not been weird, right? It's just black women doing makeup, trying on jeans, and just politics from my perspective. So I haven't seen the MAGA propaganda that much, unless they're in my comments trying to argue with me and calling me slurs. But outside of that, I haven't really seen the change in the algorithm, except for what everybody's seen, which is just they slowed it down because they want you to pay for advertising, and you just don't get as much out of a good video. They took away the pay. That's the thing that hurt me when I saw somebody get like 30 million views and they only got like $1,000. I said, oh, it's over. TikTok was my backup plan. All right. When I was working my job, I was just like, all right, I'm going to do this and I'm going to build up TikTok and I'll be okay. And it didn't quite work out. Right. But I made progress. So I'm proud of myself for that. And as much as I think about stopping, I'm just like, well, some money is coming in. So why would I stop doing it? I'm not going to stop doing it when at least it's paying for my groceries and my phone bill. But I don't know. I'm thinking of ways to maybe connect harder. The only way I've seen to come up is maybe collab with somebody, just be super wacky and crazy. Or I don't know. Like I said, if you're just younger and your style of comedy just connects with the audience on there. So I don't know. My stuff isn't connecting. But I get discouraged, and then I wake up the next morning. I'm like, let me try again. And we see how it goes. You never know what's gonna hit. I've yet to build like a community on there, but numbers is good. Community is better. Obviously, it's people with less followers than me that have businesses that they're running or podcasts or whatever. So I haven't figured out how to connect, and you just keep going, you keep growing, you keep studying, and accept the fact you're gonna have to be lonely in a shitty apartment for a little bit longer. So that's the thing with TikTok. We'll see what happens, but at least he extended it again, and that just showed me that China has the upper hand because he wouldn't keep extending it if he didn't. But I think they realized how valuable it was, and Trump admitted that Charlie Kirk was in his ear saying TikTok is truly beneficial to his administration. Okay, so we're talking about Charlie Kirk kind of advising Trump. Trump, that was like one of his guys, I guess, to kind of get to the college kids and the Gen Z. So they had this funeral, which they basically said was a Christian nationalism, huge meetup. And they use it as propaganda. Again, Trump said he hated his enemies. Stephen Miller did a speech. Stephen Miller is the guy who created Project 2025, one of the most evil things that has taken us to authoritarianism and fascism. And I just saw today his speech was plagiarized from a Nazi named Joseph Goebbels. So it's like, why would you do that type of speech at a funeral? Like, these people are ruthless. Like, you hear about like Jay-Z, or are you just thinking about like old drug dealer situations where they speak at the funeral of the guy they killed? Right? That's kind of MAGA. It's like, y'all kind of got this guy killed, and you're speaking at his funeral. So everybody was talking about the long hug that Erica Kirk gave Trump, and I thought people were kind of like over exaggerating. Then I find out she was in one of Trump's beauty pageants back in the day. I said, this is crazy. They said Pam Bondi was too. So now they're just like, they think Erica and Trump got busy back in the day. Who knows? It was a long hug. And people are saying she didn't seem that bothered. She seemed like Twitch's wife, widow. Like, I'm so sad. Anyway, let's get to the money. I'm going to be running the businesses. And they said that, like, one of his quotes, I don't know if this is true, but I think it's true. He said, I hope my wife mourns me for a few days before running my business. She definitely took a few days, a few. Right. I thought it was too much to ask, like, for a girl to mourn you, but there are like wives out there that just don't date after the husband, or just like stick to themselves and really hold out. And I was like, I hope that happens to me. I don't know. I've halfway given up on love right now, but but also as a guy, you have to be a great husband to earn that. I don't think Martin Luther King's wife remarried. Ooh. So we'll see how long she waits to date. But yeah, it just shows that they just want to have blonde, pretty girls surrounding them that'll say anything to support their agendas. The press secretary is another one. And who knows, man, what they do behind closed doors and what they got going on. But it just looked really hypocritical because of how they came at Jimmy Kimmel, how they were getting people fired, and then they're using the death of this guy to talk about politics. So it just shows they they don't really care, though. They care about their agenda over everything, over kids, over violence, over free speech, everything. So yeah, it's just money over everything. Every time I think about MAGA, is just so close to rap. It's just MAGA should stand for, I don't know, money against gaining, I don't know, anything. Okay, so the one person that stood up to this administration and won was Jimmy Kimmel. I said, Jimmy Kimmel, you got to come in next week with a sweatsuit on and a big gold chain. Cause you are a thug. Okay, you are a white thug. All right, in a good way. All right, Jimmy Mafia Kimmel stood up to the I can't even say it, fascism, authoritarianism, reign of Trump and them. All right. What's his name? Brendan Carr. All right. So we all know what happened. He made a joke about how Trump was handling Charlie Kirk's death. He kind of just brushed away the question, started talking about buildings. And Jimmy Kimmel had that great punchline. He's on the fourth stage of grief construction. Okay. And then they suspend him. Okay. They try to pressure him to apologize and donate to Charlie Kirk's organization or whatever, Turning Point. And he says no. And now, mind you, he was going to be okay, but a lot of his employees were not going to be okay. A lot of them were still recovering from the actors' strike, the pandemic, trying to get their lives together. So he was taking a risk. Trump bragged about him being taken off the air. His ratings were bad, and we was just like, this is them taking away free speech. Stephen A. Smith said, act accordingly. We were like, shut the F up, Stephen A. Smith. If we bow down now, nobody's going to be able to say anything, and he can just control us. So then Sinclair Broadcasting, who controls all the affiliates and smaller stations, said they wouldn't air. Jimmy Kimmel came back, made fun of Trump again, but then also kind of halfway apologized with a little bit of tears. A great 17-minute monologue. Go watch it. But Sinclair was still holding out. And so everybody was canceling their Hulu and Disney subscriptions. I didn't even think I had Hulu. Right? I thought I had been canceling my Hulu. I got charged right after that. Canceled right after that. Just for charging me. Right? Hulu dropped their prices. They got scared as hell. Which, if you know these corporations, they're cowards. Right? They fold every time. Look how fast they folded. Then Sinclair wasn't airing. They folded. 2 days later, Jimmy Kimmel is back. So him standing up for free speech worked, and now the people know they have the power. So we need to do this more often. We all learned about fascism, authoritarianism. Authoritarianism is basically him having complete control over the government, unchecked power. And fascism is just his ideals, his beliefs, and suppression of media and speaking out. He was trying to get this across, and he did not for once. So that's been great. So it was just a huge win, man. Everybody was just looking at it like, if they can take, a multi-millionaire off the air, I mean, what does that mean for anybody else? So that would be fascism at its finest. Nobody can say anything and just go with the flow. I have to go with the flow. So Stephen A. Smith was 100% wrong on that one. Like, we can't just go with the flow on this one. You have to stand up somehow, some way. Unlike the Democrats who voted okay for a memoriam of Charlie Kirk, and that guy spreading hate. And then we also, it's just so much hypocrisy with the guy who did apologize. I don't know if they asked him to donate to anything for saying you should euthanize the homeless. So Jimmy Kimmel didn't call for the death of anybody. He just called out the hypocrisy of people. Which leads me to my next subject with like comics and politics. I also got into podcasting late. I was too late to podcasting. Nobody watches my podcast while I'm watching other comics make millions off a podcast. So Brendan Carr was called a hypocrite for talking about how comedy should be used to satirize. I don't know if that's a word. Use satire to talk about the government, call out the times, what's going on, speak for the people. I was just talking about Ethan Hawke's great quote where it's just like, you look to art, and when you're going through the struggle, right? When things are going well, you're not really looking at art. Things are going well, you're living your life. But in times of pains, where you look to great poems, where you look to good comedy, when you play that song that's gonna help you out through that time. And now with social media, motivational speakers. Yeah, so the suppression of that, obviously, fascism, which Brendan Carr spoke out against like 2 or 3 years ago when the Biden administration was in power. So in that instance, what I'm trying to say is like, you need comics. You need comics to simplify stuff, make fun of stuff, show the hypocrisy and stuff. And then comics just became these rock stars, I guess, over the past, I don't know, like 10 to 12 years. Yeah, I think the Mark Maron podcast started like 2012. Joe Rogan became the biggest podcast in the country. The guy got like a $300 million deal or whatever it was. Because the great thing about being a comic is you're curious and you like to learn stuff, and you like talking about different types of things, which is nothing wrong with that. Like, if you want to bring that to your audience, that's fine. Comics go around the world. We just overanalyze things. Why is this like that? Why is that? That doesn't make any sense. Why did they walk over there? Whatever. What's bad is when you start thinking you're an intellectual and you start training millions of people to think a certain way, and then you become a propagandist and you start telling pregnant women they can't take Tylenol. Oh, their vaccines are bad. That's a problem. Be funny. Ask questions. Make fun of weird systems. Relationships are weird. Family structures are weird. But don't try to brainwash people into electing a fascist government. How did y'all not see Trump doing this? How the fuck did y'all not see Trump coming? I don't fucking get it. Whatever. We're here now. Okay. And it's your job to correct it. Correct the shit. But y'all aren't correcting it. Y'all are making it worse. Okay. So I just think it's weird when comics start having politicians and government officials on, senators and people like now. President Obama did do Mark Maron's podcast, but it was after the presidency. So these guys are going on these platforms to push their propaganda or to make themselves more likable. And I don't know. I just feel like it's a different time. Trump is a different type of dude. You can't play with him. And comics are playing with him. and that's no good. You're not the person to call him out. You need trained journalistic professionals to sit down with these guys. And they're not sitting down with trained journalistic professionals because they know the trained journalistic professionals are going to make them look dumb. Instead, they go with the goofy comic dude that makes him look cool and masculine. So I think that's the difference. And I do think comics get confused sometimes, and this like social justice warrior comic came up. I mean, I don't know. It's a thin line. As an artist, you do want to speak for the people. I had this thing that I said on Threads. Is like, it used to be you spoke for the people, and you risked your career, your lifestyle, to speak for the people and to say what nobody's willing to say, right? That's why we all got into comedy, because nobody was saying it. And everybody knew it, but nobody was saying it. So we said it, and then you laughed because you were thinking it already. And then all of a sudden it became, let's not tell the truth. Let's pander and say what makes me money. And that is a betrayal of comedy and artistry. So that's my take on a conversation with comics and politics. And yeah, I got into this to tell the truth. You know, I was looking around at the world. It's like, this is bullshit. And I think the number one job of a comic is to call out the bullshit. And not be a tool for the bullshit. Enough of the bullshit. Let's talk fun stuff. Mariah Carey put out a banger album. 11 songs of straight fire. Me is typical, not super old Mariah Carey, but just like 2000s Mariah Carey. Play this song, like I said, triggering song for me. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that. But Mariah did Mariah. Great album. Very good. Hit your emotions. I just got triggered, started daydreaming. I was just like, all right. I got to be in a certain mood to listen to that. I don't know. Some people, they like to sit in those emotions. I'm like, let me push those down. Let me get those away. So Mariah Carey, 10 out of 10. I like it. I want to see what everybody else says. Maybe I'm off on that one. But she just did her thing. All right. So she's allowed to sit and give you nothing in these interviews on this press run because she gave you everything on the album. Okay. So I don't know if shoot, I can never think what's her boyfriend's name. I think he produced the song that triggers me. But yeah, if he produced it, whoever did it, I'm sure Jermaine Dupri was involved in it. She knocked it out, man. She's one of one. Still on top of her game, and everybody I think is gonna enjoy this. Okay. Now, Young Thug, the opposite. Okay. Did not deliver. Okay. I got halfway through it. All right. Yuck is yuck. It's a yucky song. Okay. All right. You go to a restaurant and you go, yuck. That's how I felt about this album. Best part of the album to me so far is Cardi B's verse on the news. On the news, what are you gonna do when you're on the news? Man, her flow on that song, because we were just talking about imaginary players where she just didn't ride the beat right. It just seemed a little off, and I don't know. She took her time with on the news. Some people are fueled by beef and haters, and Cardi B is one of those people. Okay, I'm one of those people. I like to ignore my haters. And Cardi B, when she has haters, she steps up. So she threw some shots at Nicki Minaj, and she was like, "I gotta get this right," and she definitely got it right. Like when she got to the Nicki Minaj part, the punchlines was hitting, and her voice sounded so good. And Boss, I've listened to it like 11 times. I just keep playing it back. You know how Jay-Z just started, like just talking bossy and just slower. That's how she sounds. I think she's been hanging out with Jay-Z or been listening to a lot of Jay-Z. But she was like, nah, couldn't be me. Couldn't be C. I said, oof. She caught the vibe and she caught the punchline, and it was just a perfect verse. So shout out to her. She's been sliding. I've been listening to Cardi B all week. Hello. I love Magnet. I like Salute. I like and I've been avoiding all relationship songs, so I don't listen to other other songs. Yeah, I'm Falling is just some melodic singing bullshit, auto-tune bullshit. Told You. It made me want to say told you. I thought I told you to stop. What the fuck is this? He has a song called Whoop-De-Doo on there. First of all, he didn't even get the hook right. He should have just had his original Whoop-De-Doo on the hook. Whoop-De-Doo. Well, whoop-de-doo. Trash. Absolute trash. Blaming Jesus, I think, is a song to Mariah, the scientist. You need to blame yourself. Okay? If I was a Mariah the Scientist, once I heard that, I'd have been like, oh, okay. You're not putting no effort even into the music about me? Let's break up. It's over. Big and Mac, actually, he flowed better than T.I. on that song, and the beat was hard. So I like that. But overall, 3 out of 10. I don't know if he was just going off the interview with Big Bank. He was like, I need to put something out right now while it's hot. But it was not a good project. And you're going to hear it. Gunna's album was better. It seems that you can't deliver without Gunna. It seems that you can't deliver without features. So I don't know. I don't know if it was Russ, but the vibes are not vibing, even though you're a vibes rapper. Uh, what else was I gonna say about that? Oh, he squashed the beef with YFN Lucci. I haven't heard the song yet. I don't know, man. That was a big thing. A lot of people went to jail. A lot of families got hurt. So it is good that they came back together. And I don't condone people antagonizing that and saying that they shouldn't squash it. It's always good when there's less jail time and less deaths and pain and wounds to physically and figuratively to people. So nothing wrong with that. I guess it would have been nice if you did it a little bit earlier. So people are calling Young Thug a hypocrite because you can squash it with this guy that did so much to you, but you can't squash it with Gunna. I've always said I think Young Thug is just jealous of Gunna. But Gunna's out here drinking smoothies and putting out hits, so good for him. And he had Whiteface on the album. I don't know if he saw how good Drewski's skit did, and he was like, I'm going to do that. I don't know if he's saying, if this is how I looked, you would accept me better. All my problems is because of how I look and where I'm from. But yeah, Blue Eyes and Whiteface on the cover. I don't know if, he's saying I should be more like Serena Williams and you guys will accept me. Who knows? Right? Somebody will break it down. I think the album just came out today or last night. And yeah, Young Thug is hilarious. He's just so random, and he keeps saying the wrong thing for a rapper. So I don't know. Joe Budden said he's brilliant at times. At times we wonder where you're going. I don't know. I was just like, Mariah, you should leave, dude. It's crazy watching people make bad decisions in relationships in the public. Now there was this athlete, Michael Porter Jr., who's been saying all this crazy stuff in interviews, but he had this situation where I think he was dating the girl, and he said he didn't want to live with her, if I got this right. And so he said, well, while we're dating, I think he said, I'll pay half your rent. And the interviewer was just like, well, why don't you, you're an NBA player, why don't you pay her whole rent? And he was like, I don't know, we might break up. And then he said they did break up. And he's still paying a half for rent. And a lot of people felt him on that. They were just like, yeah, that was common sense. Why would you like pay somebody whole rent? There's so many athletes out here just basically buying girls. They're just not even really getting to know the girls. There's no real connection. It's almost like prostitution. Like they're just pretty much buying these girls places and cars and bags and trips, and having sex with them, and then it all goes bad, and then there ends up being a baby involved around it. So but one girl was just like, if it was the other way around, she wouldn't want to pay for it, and that she will also be irritated if the dude went with whatever she got if they were looking out apartments if she was the breadwinner. So I just thought that was interesting because she's younger. And there's just been other situations where I was like, Gen Z still believes in gender roles. They don't got to figure it out either. I thought Gen Z would be more like, we're taking away these traditional gender roles, and because they don't like gender, period. They don't like you talking about what you are. Just know my pronoun. And then I'm seeing a lot of manosphere words going out there. A lot of younger guys are like, I'm the prize. Nobody is the prize. Okay? For that situation. You're coming into a situation with somebody because that person is bringing things into your life that's going to make your life better in some type of form or fashion, or you wouldn't be with them. So there's no I'm the prize. You're both the prize. You're both trying to create a situation and life together where you're bringing your strengths and weaknesses, and they're bringing their strengths and weaknesses, and you're starting a life together. Nobody should be going into a situation where you should just be happy that I'm here. Right? That's not gonna work. Just because you have money doesn't mean you're the prize. Just because you're better looking doesn't mean you're the prize. You can have those things and still be bringing a lot of harm to somebody's life, or just not be a good partner. So, it takes effort. It takes understanding. It takes grace to make a relationship work. But I've learned women are with the non-traditional and standards when it comes to everything but money. The money part is just like, we're not trying to pay for you men out here. Now, I do agree there are like, there's the homosexuals. There's the who's the girl? Bad Baby, where she's making millions of dollars. The dude is putting his hands on her, cheating on her, and she's basically paying for his whole lifestyle. It was a girl last summer, same type of thing. But there's a lot of situations not like that. There's a lot of situations. First of all, I just want to say women are making more money now. From what I've heard, like black women are the most successful women in the economy now in U.S. society. So, you might want to go with the nice guy. All right. And I said this. I was like, some guys might just not be as talented or good at making money. Making money is just a job. It's just you're just good at your job. I'm not saying go for a bum, but if he's decent, you might be an influencer making 500,000. He might be a teacher or whatever. I don't know. Something. But a lot of women are not okay with that. And it goes all the way down to like 20 years old. It's just like, I'm not going to be paying for our lifestyle. So, I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. All right. We got through the podcast today. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm not perfect. Okay. That's one thing I was thinking about. I was like, maybe I should. I've had a lot of situationships, and I've learned from those. The situation I was talking about earlier that triggered me, that was like last summer. Which I'm still recovering from. But I learned from that, and that was a good situation that I liked. But you learn as you go, and you give people grace, and you try to show up in a fair way, or if you haven't in the past, you try to learn from those mistakes. But I think We need to stop listening to the dating coaches and just come to the table with good intentions and stop being so defensive. That's what I, that's what I think. And work on yourself. Work on yourself. All right, keep working on yourself. Keep striving. Keep learning. And have a great weekend. Thanks so much for listening to the Gossip Intellectual. Bye.